Hello and welcome to IBTimes UK. Members of the UK-based Zimbabwe Vigil have been protesting against alleged human rights abuses in Zimbabwe every Saturday for the past 13 years. We spoke with some of the organisers on the regime of fear implemented by President Robert Mugabe, as well as the need to help Zimbabweans achieve freedom and democracy.
The Zimbabwe Vigil was started in October 2002 by a group who thought that we should be doing being active to combat the human rights abuses and lack of democracy in Zimbabwe. Every week we meet outside the Zimbabwe embassy. A big group of Zimbabweans come and they protest in the way that Southern African people protest. They sing protest songs and dance and drum. We're not liked by ZANU-PF, and I think especially at the moment we're being infiltrated by there's a group of people that are causing us an awful lot of trouble. But we just keep going. You know, if you keep it going, if you gave up, then you'd be giving in and not supporting the people back home who are suffering, especially since the last election. And ZANU-PF has not governed at all since the last election, not governed at all. The economy is falling to bits and people are very, very destitute. I mean, I think that one of the most difficult things about operating in Zimbabwe is that nobody trusts anybody. Everything is infiltrated, everything. So nobody can speak without fear. Nobody can be honest with each other. And the problem is with rampant corruption, endemic corruption, it seeps right down to the bottom. You cannot do anything in Zimbabwe without handing out a bribe. We feel that in recent years, because of problems nearer home, we've become a forgotten problem. And we are anxious that we hear noises from European Union ambassadors in Zimbabwe that they want to re-engage with the Mugabe regime now.
Ephraim Tapa, a member of the Vigil, was allegedly abducted and tortured in 2002. He warned that the situation in Zimbabwe has not changed since he left, following his release. Several NGOs, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, warned that Mugabe continues to violate human rights despite the implementation of a new constitution in 2013. The new document guarantees, among other things, freedom of speech, freedom of association, and rights for LGBT people.
In the 90s, you are beginning to see more opposition voices coming up, and the Mugabe regime becoming even more repressive as we went by. The emergence of the opposition party, the MDC, then heightens the abuses to another level. Therefore, you have seen disappearances, you have seen torture, you have seen rapes being committed. We have seen people being, arbitrary arrests without trial. We have seen selective application of justice. We have seen the freedom of speech even being curtailed. My crime to the Mugabe regime was that of taking the civil service union. Is like taking civil servants into opposition politics by virtue of affiliation within the Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions. So that was my crime, and for that I was actually meant to pay with my life. So during a campaign, presidential campaign in 2002, that was in March, I got abducted in these areas where they called the no-go areas, you know, ZANU-PF strongholds. So I went in there campaigning for Morgan Tsvangirai, and of course I got abducted. And for the next, I was beaten to nuts, and they only took me when I passed out, because I had been calling out the name, someone's name, one of the attackers' names. So I had been calling out as they were beating me up. So then, because of that, he then says, no, you can't kill him because he was calling out my name. So if he's had to be dead or seemed to be dead, I'll be held responsible. So that's how I survived.